Right then, it looks like we are live. So I know Peter Ray is in the chat. So hi there, Peter. So before we start, obviously the title is quite, you would almost say clickbaity, but it isn't clickbait. It is actually happening. I just don't know whether it's permanent or temporary. But before we get started, and I know that people are sick to death of me talking about this, but I've got to talk about it. So basically, I think, fingers crossed, and I know it's probably, I mean, touch wood, everything, fingers crossed, I think I've solved the OBS issue. So I've now got an Ethernet cable hooked up to a Wi-Fi booster, basically that's in my room, so then it's keeping the internet at one sort of level. I checked my logs, because on OBS you have stream logs, which basically is a load of technical mumbo jumbo, but I basically deciphered out of one little bit that wasn't so technical, I basically deciphered that it is to do with my internet connection, not OBS. So I've then solved that by getting an Ethernet cable or Ethernet cable or whatever, so that then that's hooked right into my computer, so that then the internet is essentially hooked right into my computer. But I couldn't have an Ethernet cable going right downstairs to my router because my dad wouldn't like the cable going down there. So I ended up buying a Wi-Fi booster. But anyway, fingers crossed, it's okay, and I don't need to bore you with OBS talk for 10 minutes at the start of every Thursday Talks episode now. But I was determined to get it right. I want to get this right for you guys. I want to get it right for myself. So that's why I was so annoyed and I was so vocal when things were going wrong, because I really want to get things right. So yeah, anyway, fingers crossed, it'll be okay now. But I'm not saying it's going to be perfect, but it'll be okay, hopefully. Right then, so a few things to talk about today. I will, do yourself like 10 minutes early, stinker. Stinker? What's that all about? Oh, very nice. Anyway, I've been called much worse, don't worry. I've had much worse than that. Anyway, yeah, bullied and everything in high school, but that's another story. We won't go into that. But no, anyways, yeah, 10 minutes early. I am 10 minutes early, but you know me, I'm always early. And it was Shakespeare who said, it's better to be 3 hours too early than a minute too late. I think that's the quote. Anyway, so we've got Peter, we've got Do It Yourself, we've got Charles Rooney, we've got Chris B, we've got Andy Robinson, got all the usual regulars in there, so that's really nice to see. I obviously love it when I see all my regulars in the chat and we can have a nice little episode of Thursday Talks. It's absolutely wonderful. It's the reason I keep doing this week after week. We've got Alayla, oh, I'm probably going to butcher that name, but Alayla H. Anyway, sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, but it looks like a really nice name. I just can't pronounce it, unfortunately. Left hand down a bit. Oh, that's someone new we've not had in the chat. Left hand down a bit. Have you been watching my videos for a while or something? Or are you new to the stream? Are you new to the channel? We've got George Ross. Hey there, can't stay, but we'll watch later. Fair enough, George. It's just going to be a standard chat anyway, really. I have got a few things to talk about. Obviously, one of the main things being the title. My post office is closing, I believe I put on the title. One sec, could just go up quickly. I always forget the title, yeah. My post office is closing. It's episode 122, I think. I'm not 100% sure. We lost the numbering at about 99, I think. So I'm not 100% sure it's episode 122, but it's around there. Anyway, so my post office is closed. Now, I'm not going to ramble today as much. I'm going to get straight into the topic. So, yeah, yesterday I went to my post office. And basically, I went, you know, there's like a little not a cubicle, what do we call it? Like, you know, a desk, but they have like a screen up, don't they? I don't know what that's called. Well, it's called a screen, but you know what I mean? I don't know what a little cubicle with a screen. Anyway, on the little screen, not a computer screen, you know, a glass screen. And on the screen was Thursday, 10th of May, post office, this post office branch will be closing. I asked the woman in there, it's a local branch, I know them very, very well. I said to her, because basically, well, I'll give you some backstory. basically Bargain Booze is getting taken over by another company or been bought out by another company. I don't think takeovers and being bought out are exactly the same thing, but they're being taken over or being bought out by another company, and they don't want all the stock that Bargain Booze sells. They want to put different stock in the stores, and the post office is for some reason getting closed, either temporarily or permanently, to do with that. So basically it's getting closed temporarily, I think, at this moment, but maybe permanently. Now, the reason I don't know much information is because I went in there and I asked one of the ladies in there, and she said, we don't have a date for when it reopens, as if to say it is going to reopen, or it might, there's a chance that it will reopen. And then my dad goes in there and sees the sign and then asks someone about it because he knows it'll affect me. And the woman says to him, oh, we're pretty sure it might be permanent or something. I don't know, it was something like that, or it could be permanent. So I don't know where I stand really. Now this post office is literally 5-minute walk. I walk up there every day or every other day with my parcels in my sack. I don't even care if I have 2 sacks. I won't spoil the surprise, but I'm working on a series of comedy shorts at the moment. I'm in the writing process at the moment, and because I'm going to do them in series in the future. But basically, I do a lot of comedic things myself. I've always been very comedic in the way I go about things. But anyway, I thought of incorporating this sort of taking the sacks down to the post office in a comedy short, because whenever I have loads and loads of, you know, parcels, I always try and do it in one trip, no matter what. So you can see where I'm going with that. It can get quite comical when I'm walking down the road with a ton of parcels. So I'm going to incorporate some of that physical comedy into one of the comedy shorts I'm doing in the first series. But yeah, anyway, that's beside the point. Anyway, I go down there, I walk down there, really nice, easy, just drop the parcels off, no trouble. Now, what I'm going to have to do from now on is drive to my local town. Now, that doesn't seem that bad for anyone, right? Not bad at all. And that's fine for me between Saturday and Tuesday. But as you guys know, I share the car with my mum, and obviously she goes to work Wednesday to Friday. So now, Wednesday to Friday, I've not got a car, I've not got the local post office open. What am I going to do, kind of thing, you know? And my mum works in a town called Knutsford, and that does have a post office, but I would feel terrible putting that on her, because it's not her business. It's not anything to do with her, really, and she does enough for me anyway. I mean, she, you know, occasionally she'll help me with my packaging, occasionally she'll come to boot sales, and that's more than enough. Even that occasional help is more than I want, because it's my business. So I don't want to land anything extra on her, and it's kind of a bit annoying, really. So we did have a debate about getting a car last night. You know, this has like sparked a debate now whether whether I should get a car or not. But then I was saying to my mum, if I get a car, it's a big expense, and also that takes that'll then take me more time to get a house, because obviously if I'm spending on a car and insurance is going to be quite a lot for me, because obviously I'm a young driver. Being on my mum's insurance on the car there is a lot cheaper for me. So with all that being said, that means that I might not be able to get a house till God knows when, 27, 28 now, whereas I'm on target to get a house at about 25. You know, it's only 3 years away. But yeah, so anyway, I'm not going to go into all that because that's more personal stuff. But yeah, basically the post office is closing, temporary or permanent, I'm not sure. It's going to affect me, it's going to have a negative effect, but that's what you do. As resellers, as business people, we've not got to worry so much about the problem, but more worry about the solution, about how we can solve these issues, how we can think, right, well, there's a problem, we can moan about it for a minute, that's fair enough. If you want to get it out your system, have a bit of a moan, but now, after that moan, how are we going to solve this problem? How are we going to sort this out? How are we going to get around this, or make it so that then we're in an even better position from the problem that we had? So a problem arises, but we do something that makes it actually even better than before the problem arose. I think arose. Pixie Dust Gaming, I think you might be new to one of my streams. I know you were in Tap Chat stream, but I don't know whether you're new to Yeah, one of my... Anyway, Peter Ray says, ads, comedy shorts are legendary. Thank you very much. The problem with me, and I've said this the other week, no, well, not a problem with me, but the problem with the comedy shorts is execution. I have ideas coming out of my brain like an explosion, like a volcano. I thought of like 5 different ideas in literally the space of 2 days early this week. And I've got so many good ideas, but the problem is execution and budget. I mean, I've not got the budget to do these things. I'd love to, honestly, I'd love to have a few £100 to be spent on one comedy short that would maybe be 10 minutes long, and I could, you know, upgrade my camera. I could maybe, you know, get some props involved. I could maybe even hire a cast member if I'd need to do that, but I'm trying my best to work around it for free. But I would really, I'd make a lot of use out of a budget, but it's just not doable really. But, you know, I am going to do them. I'm still going to do them. They're going to be amateurish. I'm not going to promise anything more than that. But I'm going to still try and put some good effort into the writing, and hopefully the writing will kind of carry it, even though the execution isn't that great. But, yeah. Ads, I'm sure your mum will help drop off your... if the salary is right. Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah, I'm sure she would help. You know, she's helped from time to time anyway. It's not that. It's personally, I would feel bad about it, because it's my dream, it's my business, and I can't put loads of things on my mum. As I say, occasionally from time to time on a Sunday, if I have loads and loads of parcels to do, she'll step in and help me. You know, occasionally she'll come to car boot sales with me, and that's more than I want. You know, that's more than I should deserve, really. It's my business, it's my choice. And it's like with YouTube, you know, I do everything myself with YouTube because that's how I want it to be, because it's my choice to do this. It's my choice to get the green screen. It's my choice to do the lighting, to do the mic, to do videos that I want to do. And if anyone watches or not, that's not, you know, much of a bother to me, really. I just like doing it. I love doing YouTube, and I love just putting content out there, and I do that by myself because that's my dream, you know, just like reselling is my dream. So anyway, yeah, if the salary is right, yeah, that's very funny, Adam, anyway. I thought you were being serious for a minute then, and then you're like, oh, if the salary's right, yeah, very, very funny. Ads, would you get other people in the comedy shorts? I was thinking of, you know, when Celtic Traders came up, I was thinking of asking them to do a bit of filming that would then be added into a comedy short, but I didn't do that in the end. I didn't really have too many ideas back then, you know, a month or so ago. But I would have liked to get Phil to be a character who I call Chameleon. Now, you'll remember about 2 years ago, I said on YouTube, when I've got enough experience, and I said something exactly along these lines, when I've been reselling for like 10 years, I'm going to think of a name for myself. And then I'm going to be known as that on YouTube. And the reason I didn't want to do that any sooner than like the 7-year mark or the 10-year mark is because I didn't feel like it would be right for someone who's inexperienced in reselling to start, you know, mouthing off and saying like, oh, I'm this great reseller called this name or whatever. But one of the names I thought for myself was the Chameleon Reseller, because I'm always dipping and diving into different niches. So that was one of the names. However, I've since adapted that to be basically Chameleon is going to be a supplier of quite an out there product, let's say, and he's going to supply this other character that I've thought of with these products, and it's going to come into a comedy short. So I was going to get Phil to be Chameleon, but obviously I hadn't wrote the comedy short then. I still haven't wrote it. I've got a little bit of a map in my mind of what I want, but yeah, it's one of those things. It's kind of, I didn't do it, but will I get other people involved in the comedy shorts who are resellers, you know, off YouTube or not? Yeah, sorry, on YouTube or off YouTube? Of course I will. Will I get family involved again? Yes, I will, if they've got the time. And yeah, I would love to, I would really love to write a comedy short, like a 10-minute comedy short, and meet up with like all the other YouTubers, you know what I'm saying, like Fake Rachel, Nick, Zahir, Tom the English Picker. Yeah, I don't even know, there's too many to name, but you know what I mean, like Sue's Piles of Shame, There's so many YouTubers now, I can't even name them all. Caroline, Mrs. M, Ben Fitzpatrick, of course, Mini Millionaire, Cora and Helen. I'd love to meet up with all, write a comedy short, and just get them all involved as like different characters, and then playing off each other. And we could maybe have like a boot sale challenge where we all go around a boot sale, but as different characters, not as ourselves, but as different characters. So you'd have someone playing like a loudmouth, you know, trying to get in the backs of boots or whatever, and then you'd have someone playing a little bit more of a timid reseller and all that, and it would work. I just think it would be hilarious, I really would. Or we could get everyone in like lycra suits, where they were like superheroes, so we're all like modelling reseller superheroes. So I'd be like the rainbow reseller, and then someone else would be have their names, and so like Nick could be the like Tatman or something instead of Batman, you know what I mean? And then we could have lycra suits with capes and then going around the car boot like that. I don't think anyone but myself would actually do that, like actually go ahead and actually, you know, get in the suit and actually do it, because I'm just very confident. But I think that some people might entertain the idea, and it would be so funny as a video to do that. But yeah, Cora and Helen have got engaged. Oh, have they? Oh my god. Special Sib K. Oh, that is brilliant. I think that's the best name yet, Special Sib K. No, I've not seen. Have you done a video on that? You must have done a video then, if you know about that. Can't believe that the changes happening before Q4. Oh my god, seriously. I wonder if Q4 has changed. Seriously, not this again. I'm alright, Peter. Take my rants with a pinch of salt. Well. Steve says, love the green screen. Thank you very much. Obviously, I'm still working on backgrounds. Like, I'm thinking of doing some other backgrounds, but I like this background as well. This kind of suits me. But if anyone has any requests for backgrounds, just drop me a message on Facebook or drop me a comment down below. I can get loads of different backgrounds that are, you know, copyright free and stuff like that, and loads of different moving backgrounds. So if you want any specific background, just let me know, if you know what you'd like to see, and obviously I can whack it on for one episode and then change it the next episode for someone else. So yeah, any you know, green screen kind of things you want, I'll be able to get. I can get explosions, I can get gas bombs, I can get grenades, I can get guns, I can get like a gun like firing at me here with the sound effects, and or you know, I mean, I don't know why I said gun, it's a bit like weird that, but anyway, you know what I mean. I can get, it's probably just the male side of me like, yeah, I want explosions and everything, but no, I can get loads of different things. So you know, just hit me up with what you want and hopefully I'll be able to get it, and it just makes the videos quite fun, to be honest. Jasmine says, it happened to me. It's not that far to my next one, but it's up a very steep hill. I am getting more exercise now. Well, at least you're getting more exercise, yeah. It's one of those things that's a bit annoying, really, because the post office has been there for, well, 5 years at that location, and then it just moved. It basically moved to the Bargain Booze from across the road, so it's been there forever. You know, it's been there all my life. In terms of over the two locations. So the thing is, there's going to be people complaining anyway, because that post office gets really busy. So that we need one in the, you know, in my village. So it's not like it's going to be gone for long anyway. If that one does close for good, another one will pop up in 6 months or a year anyway. I just know so, because of so many people use it. You know, there's a lot of old people going in there, sending the letters to various people. There's people who do the car tax in there. There's a couple of other resellers who go in there. So you know, it's needed. And like for me personally, I drop off about 5 or 6 big sacks full, Royal Mail sacks full of mail every week in there. So I mean, even just for me, I send a lot of stuff with that post office. I mean, must be 60 items a week or more, maybe. I don't know. You know, about, well, maybe not that. Maybe about 40, 50, but quite a lot anyway. About 40 or 50, I'd say, actually. But yeah, so better to start your own insurance as soon as. Very true, Crispy. That's another thing. I was talking to my mum again. I was saying to her about that, you know, about the fact that, you know, being on my mum's insurance, does that actually count for anything in terms of when I swap over to my new, my own insurance, will that affect the positively affect the premium I'm paying? And we didn't know, we weren't sure, so I need to look into that. But obviously, the sooner I start it, I am going to be paying a lot of money. But as you say, it's better because it'll then reduce over time quicker, or it will reduce over time anyway, opposed to if I did it in 5 years, or something. So. Yeah, it is something I need to do, and unfortunately, there's just all these expenses in life. It's becoming more and more apparent as I get older and older, and it'll become even more and more and more apparent as I get into my 30s and 40s and stuff like that. But there's just so many costs in life. So much so that last night I actually Googled where's like one of the cheapest places to live in the world, because I thought why don't I just go to somewhere that's really cheap where I can literally live for like 40-50 quid a day, and I can still do reselling over there, but in a different way maybe, sell different items, and then I wouldn't have to like be so stressed. Like at the moment I'm trying to grow my net profit loads and loads and loads just to reach like a decent amount of money, to live off in this country. But if I was to move to a different country, I could still do my YouTube, I could still do my reselling. However, because the national kind of living wage is lower, a lot lower, like maybe even in some countries it's like 50% lower that you can live off. In some countries it's like $1,000 a month you can live off. And then that means I'm not stressed as much, and I can live life and enjoy it in a more sort of profound way, in a sense, because I can do more things that I want to do, more maybe spiritual things, or maybe you could say a bit hippie things, because I'm a bit like that. Funnily enough, because there's a weird capitalist side to me, and then there's a hippie side to me, let's say. I don't know whether the word hippie is politically correct, so I apologise if it isn't. But basically there's two sides to me, like there's this capitalist and then there's this kind of all free love kind of guy. I swear I have some dual personality disorder or something, I don't even know, but anyway. So there's another thing I wanted to talk to you about as well, but I'll just check in the chat, because I don't want to ignore people in the chat. I'm too bad at keeping up with the chat anyway. Ads, if you are sending so many parcels, can't you get a pickup? I wonder, yeah, there was something about that. It was either this year or last year, but Royal Mail were testing out a collection service, weren't they? And it was specifically for resellers, I believe, or eBay sellers anyway. Maybe not resellers, but just eBay sellers in general. So I don't know. Yeah, that could be a yeah, definitely that could be an option there. It says our office. One sec. What she said? I work somewhere where the postman picked up our sacks from our office at 4 PM with Royal Mail Business. Yeah, I think my mum's company does that. I actually did work experience at my mum's company, and I remember when the postman would come to them. I'm pretty sure, maybe not. I don't know. I can't remember, but yeah, might be. You can live in the UK on 1k a month easy. Yeah, but I mean, you know what I want to live. Do it yourself lifestyle. You know what I want to live off. I don't want to live. I'm not being. Right, okay, this could sound really pretentious, but I don't mean it in this way, right? I just mean, I don't want to live off, I'm not going to name names of supermarkets, but I don't want to live off a lower, let's say a lower grade supermarket. I'd rather live off, like, a slightly higher grade supermarket, and then that costs more in food. I know I'm only one person, but I do eat a lot. I know I'm very skinny, but I do eat a lot. So... yeah, I think food is a big one for me. I think at this age, I'm going to spend a lot on food. In terms of like mortgage or rent or whatever I'm going to be paying, that's going to be a lot. I mean, really, realistically, it's going to be like 500 minimum, surely. Even if you're like in a rented apartment or something, surely it's got to be a lot. It's got to be a fair bit. I mean, I've not looked into it that much, but I can't see it being much less than 500 a month. And then you've got car, taxation, all these other different things, that maybe even some that I'm not aware of. Well, electricity, heating, all that sort of stuff. I don't know whether electricity and heating are the same thing, but anyway, shows what I know. I'm not a homeowner. It shows what I know, but yeah. I don't know. 1k seems quite. I mean, if it is true, then that's no problem. I can live off that now. But really. Realistically, I would think 1.5k minimum, like 18k a year, kind of, doing that in net profit kind of thing. But anyway, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just a bit like over exaggerating, or maybe I'm just a bit too worried about the kind of financial side of things, and maybe I don't need to be as much. Harrods Sandwich Bar will love you 30. I think he means leave you, or yeah, leave you £13 a pack of 2 sandwiches. I'm not meaning Harrods. I'm not meaning Harrods. Okay, I'm meaning like Sainsbury's or above, like Sainsbury's, maybe M&S. Like, okay, Sainsbury's in the week, right, which is like kind of middle of the road supermarket. And then like M&S maybe for a Saturday and Sunday kind of thing, you know, or maybe Waitrose, but I'm going off Waitrose, to be honest. I've had a few things from there recently, and I'm going off it a little bit. Like, M&S, I like. Sainsbury's, fine, that's cool. To be honest, I would even go and get my veg from Aldi or Lidl or whatever, because it's just veg, isn't it? There's no difference. Like, with fruit and veg, it's just pretty much the same thing anyway. So I'd get, like, fruit and veg, things like that from, like, Aldi, save a bit of money there. Then go main shop Sainsbury's, and then go few bits from M&S or Waitrose a week kind of thing. But that's gonna be may get a temp for 500, lol. I've never based my life off what supermarkets I shop at. One Deep Council, I think. What's that? I Deep Council, I think. What? As the math. I don't even know what that was, Steve. I Deep Council, I think. As the massive. Oh my god. You know what? You wouldn't think I'd know this, but I actually know what council pop means. Does anyone know in the chat what council pop is? If you know that, then that is sick. That is so awesome. I didn't know what it was, but basically I went round a friend's house, and they said, do you want some council pop? And I was like, what is that? What the hell is council pop? But yeah, if anyone knows it in the chat, then it'll be funny to see. But yeah, I like Asda, to be honest. I've got a few bits from Asda. I do, well, an Asda, the local one, opened up near me, actually. We've not got an Asda really that close to us. Well, we do now, since it's opened up, but I mean, we didn't for so long, so I'd never really been in Asda. Same with Morrison's. I've never really done Morrison's because I've not got one. I'd say probably Morrison's and Asda are like kind of same level of Sainsbury's, surely. Because I don't really think of them as any less. I'd say kind of middle of the road supermarkets, really, aren't they? They're not quite like M&S or Waitrose, but they're not lower than that, you know? But anyway, I digress. I'm just talking about supermarkets. I don't know why. OB2 Jason says water. Oh my god, that is classic. Yeah, it is. Council pop is water. That is really cool. Ad spends 500 on a house, 1,000 on food, and 2,000 on chicks for fun. Hashtag stinker. Oh my god, do it yourself lifestyle. Anyway, we're going to get, what time is it? 20 past 1. We better get back on topic, because I've just rambled about 20 minutes about supermarkets there. Anyway, one sec, I'll just mention it. Unfortunately, I don't know whether you heard, I mean, it was a while ago now, but it just triggered a memory then, because I said supermarket, but Dale Winton died, didn't he, about a week ago? It was the same time, I don't know whether all you guys know about this, but it was the same time as, around the same time as Avicii died, wasn't it? And I was absolutely shocked at that. I couldn't believe it. I read it and I thought, this has got to be some kind of joke. I mean, I was quite sad for Dale Winton because I knew him off Supermarket Sweep, but when Avicii, when it popped up that Avicii had gone, I thought, I was just so shocked. Because, like, I grew up on his music. The summer of 2013, which was, like, my best summer ever, I just really, really enjoyed 2013 summer. It was my last summer ever as well, before, like, working and all that sort of stuff. But, yeah, my best summer ever, 2013. I remember listening to Avicii so much, so it was just a shocker, it really was. But no, anyway, I was just, supermarkets got me onto Supermarket Sweep there. But anyway, so the other thing that I wanted to talk about is problems and actually solving problems, because obviously you can see by the title, you know, my post of his closing, it's a problem. And we can sometimes kind of get into that routine of, oh, we've got all these problems on ourselves, and we get a bit overwhelmed, and we don't know what to do, and we kind of let it eat up a day, or eat up a few hours, And the best thing to do with these problems is actually solve them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you an example of a problem that I had yesterday, actually. Well, the last 48 hours haven't been great for me, let's just say that. 48 hours ago, or thereabouts, it's like travelling in time, isn't it? 48 hours ago, we need a little flashback scene, like, whoa, little flashback scene. Anyway, 48 hours ago, I got a return request on an item that I had specifically stated as for spares or repairs, and you know, it's being sold as such. And basically she said this item doesn't work, and I explained to her I was selling it as spares or repairs. Anyway, that's now been resolved, I'm happy to say. I had a message from eBay or from the person, I'm not sure, but it then just said the buyer has returned has closed the return request. So don't know what happened there really, but she just obviously realised that she didn't want to return it anymore or whatever. I mean, I know that I don't have to, I'm pretty sure I don't have to accept the return request because I stated it as spares or repairs, and the reason for return was because it wasn't working properly. However, I probably would have accepted the return out of just, you know, just being nice kind of thing. But obviously I sent her the message and then she ended up closing the return anyway. But anyway, so, or did I accept the return? I might have accepted the return, then sent her a message. I don't know. But anyway, she closed the return request and that was all done and dusted. And as I say, I was being quite nice about it. She was all nice about it. It was just the fact that obviously she had basically not read the description properly or something like that. A lot of people I find are like this. A lot of customers will not read the description. It's always worth putting in that little condition note, like, you know, to highlight the fact it spares or repairs or something like that, you know, or like it's whatever's wrong with the item. Like, for example, if you've got a piece of crockery or a few pieces of crockery and then one of them's got a little nick on them, then you know, just explain that in the condition note rather than the description. Because if you explain that in the description and not the condition note, they can see the condition note pretty much straight away on a listing. But the description, we don't always go down and click onto it. Some people are terrible that customers will like literally not look at any photos or any description and just like, yeah, that's the item I want, buy it. And it's like, oh great, you know. But anyway, so that all happened, that was all sorted, all fine. I was professional about it, she was very professional about it, all sorted. But anyway, it was a bit annoying at the time, but it was all sorted. It's nothing too bad because it's a return request. I get them fairly frequently. I wouldn't say mega frequently, but you know, maybe once a month, a couple of months. Usually they come in twos. Usually it's 2 or 3 I get at once. But anyway, so I then had a message off a guy, and I didn't respond to this message for about 16 to 20 hours or something, and because I just not checked my messages, and it was a message in the evening. So anyway, I have a message off this guy, and obviously I checked the message like the next day or whatever, which was yesterday. However, before I checked, well, I was going to check the message, but before I checked the message, I end up getting a request through from eBay saying item not received. So the buyer didn't receive the item. And I thought, oh, that's funny, because that item, you know, it shows on the app, on the eBay app, a little picture of the item, and then the buyer has sent a message about this item, or whatever it says. Well, I saw the picture and I thought, hang on a minute, that's still, I know where that is, that's still in storage. And I thought, hang on a minute, what's gone on now? Oh, and then I thought to myself, oh, it must just be a message about the item, like, not that it has ended. But then I thought to myself in the back of my mind, hang on, that's ended. But anyway, that was like the day before when I first got the message or whatever. I saw a little, like, picture. And then, the next day, I get this request. And I get this request, and it's item not received request, and all in capitals, I've not received this item, da-da-da-da. And then I think to myself, oh crap, I saw that in my storage area. I've not sent this item. The first time ever that something's been displayed in my Paid Post Now folder, and I've not sent it. It's like, why the hell would I do that? Every time I get a lot of Paid Post Now things, I go through them and I pick them out, you know, out of my storage areas, and I basically then pack them all up in one go. I know that some people might pick one and then pack it, and then pick another one and pack it, but I basically pick them all off the shelves in one go, and then pack them all. So I was like, well, how the hell has this happened? Why why didn't I send that out if it was in my paid post now folder? But then I realised, didn't I? Then I realised, you guys knew that 2 weeks ago, on this day, or the day before, I had really bad food poisoning. And I was packaging up my items, right? And I felt very, very lightheaded. And I ended up having to go out the shed, basically thinking that, you know, I had packed all my items up and everything was fine. But I think you should add a bit of bass to your audio, like the here. I don't know whether I can, but I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out if I can anyway. I might be able to mess around with it on OBS or even in the settings, but anyway. So I came out thinking I've done all my parcels, everything's fine. Kirsten's Curiosity's in, hi there Kirsten. So I thought, right, I've done all my parcels fine. I was then sick outside. I was sick outside, felt really lightheaded, proper gone, and I got in bed. But it must have been, and I did look at the dates, and it was around the same time, it must have been because I had the food poisoning, I didn't package it up, that explains it. Then 2 weeks later, he then says, you know, you've not sent this item. So what I did, in the circumstance, because I thought that this was the best way to go about it in the circumstance, I wouldn't normally do this, but instead of, you know, doing anything else, first off, I just said, right, full refund, give him a full refund straight away, and then send the item out, because I want him to know, look, I am not messing about, I'm going to make sure that you're sorted with, the customer service is going to be completely amazing from this point, because I did wrong in the past. So I said, right, I'll give you a full refund. Oh, and also I didn't mention, at the same time he opened the request, he gave me a negative feedback, right? And I was really annoyed about it. I was like, oh God, a negative. And it's my first negative feedback in 12 months, in like 12 months. So I was so annoyed. But anyway, the good thing is I have 2,300 feedback. And this is where I thought, this is really cool actually. If you have like 10,000 feedback, that one negative feedback, hardly even affects your percentage, because I have like 2,300 or 2,400 and it affected my percentage by 0.1. I was on 99.9 and now I'm on 99.8. However, anyway, we'll get on with the story again. So he gives me negative feedback, I then give him a full refund. I completely apologise, it's completely my mistake, very, very sorry. I didn't mention the food poisoning because I didn't want to get into any emotional blackmail territory or anything. I didn't think it was right to mention my health. It didn't come into it really, except obviously it was somewhat the cause, but it didn't come into the messages that we were having. So I didn't mention that. I think it would have been wrong to mention that. So anyway, I just basically said, look, I think I've forgotten to send it out for whatever reason. I never do that. It's not like, it's unlike me completely, but for whatever reason, I didn't send it out. So I was quite honest with him. But basically, I gave him a full refund straight away. This is at 3 o'clock yesterday. I then go straight down, wrap it up, get it wrapped up completely, get it sent out, go down to the post office, get it sent out first class post, because I'm not messing about. And then this afternoon, just before Thursday Talks, he gives me a lovely message saying, I've now received the item, I'm quite happy to change back the negative feedback to positive feedback. However, I don't know how to do that. So then I thought, right, I'll have to go on YouTube because I don't know how to do this feedback revision request or whatever it is that you do. So I went on, because I've never had to do it, because I don't get many negative feedback, as you know. But I went on YouTube and I found the video on how to do that, went to the eBay site map, went to revise feedback request or whatever it's called, sent him a request to do so, and hopefully, fingers crossed, he'll be more than happy to do so, change it to a positive. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, we're done, we're sorted, I've solved the blooming return request from the other one, I've solved that issue, and I've given excellent customer service. The only issue now is the post office. I've solved the OBS crisis. This is what being a reseller, this is what being self-employed is all about. Solving problems, getting hit by so many problems every day, week in, week out, month in, month out, that you are incredibly strong, that you will just battle through them. That's what it's about, being self-employed. Having so many problems on you every day, every week, that you just become so hardened to it. And you're just like, I don't even care anymore. We're just battling through this. So That's what I stand for. That's who I am. Good customer service, getting things right when I make mistakes or when other people make mistakes that then affects me, and just solving everything, just trying to solve everything if I can. So yeah, really, really happy with that. I know it was a long story. I know it was probably a bit disjointed because I was all over the place, but yeah, really, really happy. Gist of it is, I made a mistake, got what I deserved in the negative feedback and the item not received case, solved that. Customer was happy at the end of it. Hopefully negative feedback changed to positive. All done and dusted. So yeah, anyway, I'll leave that there because that was a funny story, but yeah, that was a long story. But yeah, so we'll have a look in the chat because I've completely ignored the chat. So let me go up a second. Ads Robinson, I think. Oh, sorry, yeah, I've already read that. The one comment out of all the other comments that I've already read, and I end up reading it again. How long are you going for, Shell? Oh, is Shell still really going on holiday or something? P2A just a week to Catalona. Oh, that's quite cool. I've heard of that before. It's quite sunny there, isn't it? For May half term, went last year. Hotel right on the beach. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, Kirsten was in. I said hi to Kirsten, didn't I? Special K, 16 to 20 hours, amateur. Fun starts at 16 to 20 days. Wow. Well, normally I'll do my messages on a daily basis. Now, sometimes if I'm really not feeling it, I will leave them for 2 days. I remember quite funnily enough, I basically did a video ages ago saying how quickly should you respond to your eBay messages, and in that video, like, you can tell I was so young and ambitious, and that was only 2 years ago or something. I was saying, oh well, I like to answer my messages in 5 minutes and all this. Is like, for God's sake, I'm not going to do that anymore. You know, I think that as you spend more and more time becoming a reseller, you start to like slack off more and more, like not necessarily with your listing and stuff, but just like with answering messages and doing like the things like, and even answering offers. I mean, I just let half of them sit now, you know, like I don't even decline them, I just let them sit. I can't even bother just declining them, they just sit there on my account. But yeah, it's things like that that kind of, you get less and less motivated to do over time. You know, it's not because you don't enjoy reselling or anything like that anymore, but it's just a natural progression, I think, of, you know, someone who's a little bit more experienced doing it than someone who's brand new and kind of all really, really highly motivated for it. It's kind of like a honeymoon phase in a relationship. First 6 months of reselling, it's like, oh my god, this is amazing, I can sell this board game for 10 quid and I got it for a quid. It's amazing, there's ka-chings coming in, I'm going to keep doing this, I'm going to build my listings up, it's going to be so good. And then after 6 months or a year, you think, yeah, well, it's just kind of, I'm just in the routine now, you know, I'm quite happy with the routine, but I'm just in the routine. And I was thinking that the other day because I get most of my stock from auctions now, and it's a very, very set process, set in its way really. I view I view the catalogue and all that. I do my bidding online, and then I get my man in the van to collect. He then brings it to the lockup, usually about 20 boxes at a time. Whack it in the lockup. Then I bring the box back here, sort it out, and then put it on the photography area. Yeah, okay, sometimes you find cool items in one of the boxes, but it's very kind of, you know, one thing to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing. It's not like when I first started and I was just doing charity shops and things like that, and I was going out every other day, like trying to find some cool stuff. And I think that I like the fact that it's more like a process like that, because I never run out of stock nowadays, and that's really, really good. I still enjoy looking through the boxes and stuff, but and time-wise, I mean, I can get 20 boxes of stuff within 4 hours, like, of sitting at the auction, you know, like sitting online at the auction. So it's more efficient and everything, but it's just like a more of a kind of routine or process now, opposed to that honeymoon phase where you're like, oh, I'm just going to do here, there, and everything, and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I enjoy it. I think I have a lot more consistency with it now. I have a lot more kind of knowing where I'm at. You know, I know I can predict on a monthly basis what I'm going to be at turnover. Even though July hasn't come around yet, I can pretty much say that I'm going to be between these two figures, and I can pretty much say I'm going to get X amount of stock, because I know that on a minimum at the auction, I'm going to get 10 boxes as a minimum. So I know now for the next year, the next 2 years, how much stock I'm going to be able to get, for sort of what kind of price as well, and what sort of turnover I can be expecting in the months that follow. And that is something that you only get from experience. Now, I'm not saying that I can predict it to a fine-tooth comb. I mean, I could predict my turnover in the range of £1,000, so let's say like 3,000 to 4,000 or something like that. I can't predict it in terms of I'm going to do £4,286 next month. I can't predict it that well, but you get to a point where you get a certain level of consistency that if you do like a certain level of work in the month, you can expect a certain level of money back. So that's what I'm sort of talking about, and I like that. But it kind of, I am out of that honeymoon phase now, and it is a bit sad. It's like kind of, I'm in that marriage phase now with reselling, where I'm just married to it. It's like it's like my other half. You know, it's not kind of like the new relationship, the new girlfriend or anything like that. It's very much kind of my wife now. I mean, I've been, as I've said recently, you know, in next month or two, I'll have been doing this for 3 years. So it's pretty crazy. You know, I can't believe it myself half the time. You know, how long, just how quick time goes and how long you can actually be doing stuff. Anyway, I'm assuming that's nothing to a lot of you. Anyway, I bet you've been doing it 10 years or something. And yeah, actually, Ryan, Do It Yourself Lifestyle in the chat, how long have you been reselling? Because I wonder, like, I was wondering that the other day, because I thought, I don't think I've heard how long you've been doing it. I reckon it's like, I'm guessing 5 years. I'm guessing you've been doing it longer than me. I'm guessing 5. I'm guessing 5 anyway. Ad Robinson, Chrissy is the one who came up with my new name. Oh, that is a great name, Chrissy. That's really good. I absolutely love it. I think it's so good. Right then, Oi, what you been saying about me? Who's that? I've not been saying anything, Shalstarooney. I don't think I have anyway. Love getting hauls of stuff, makes life easy week to week. It really does, Chris. It's like it's just so easy. Like, I couldn't do like just getting. I really get annoyed like when I just go to the charity shops and get like 2 items now, because I think to myself, I've wasted 2 hours around the charity shops. If I did that, if I spent 2 hours at you know, at the auction or whatever, I could get like 20 times that, and it's the same amount of time. I could literally get like a month's worth of stock in one morning at the auction, compared to like not even a day's worth of stuff in the same amount of time around the charity shops. And the same with the car boots. I can't feel like I get enough stock from the car boots. You know, I get a few days worth of listing from, like, the 2 car boots I went to on the bank holiday on Sunday and Monday. That's like 2 or 3 days worth of listing. But is it really enough to warrant what I've been doing? I've put like 6 hours working at those 2 car boots, you know, 3 hours each, and obviously listing all the stuff as well on top of that. It's like, is it really, you know, is it worth it? Is it efficient? And that's what made me in January change up my business model and change up to the kind of a quantity business model of buying in bulk, buying more of it, buying these boxes from anywhere from £2 to maybe £10, depending on the quality of what's in the boxes, and just doing it that way. And it's so much more relaxing. And I'm yet to really start doing it in bulk in terms of the processing side. I mean, sometimes I'll photograph, you know, 40 or 50 items in one go, but it's been less so the last few weeks. I've kind of just been photographing 10 items at a time again, and I really want to get back into photographing big lots of items, you know, 50 to 100 items in one go, and then just list them all over a week, because I feel when I do that at the start of the week, I'm far less stressed than when I'm trying to do like 10 items a day and do my photos every day and do my sorting every day. So I need to get back to that anyway. Well, I just go up the chat again because I don't want to miss too much. What Sheldon tax avoidance? Like, hey, don't say that on here, bloody hell. It's recorded, that is, as well. I know she isn't tax avoiding or anything, but you don't want to bloody give her any unnecessary grief. Yeah, take after payday and bank holiday people tight. Yeah, oh yeah. I would imagine the next, I'd imagine the next week or so isn't going to be the best on eBay. I mean, when you get back to the end of the month again, I think it'll start kicking in a bit. I had a really good day yesterday. Well, I say really good. It wasn't major good, but it was okay. You know, I had a decent day yesterday. It's been absolutely horrendous for the last 6 days. I'd say 6 days solidly. But I always find though, even though this year, and I'll keep preaching this to people, even though this year, for myself and a lot of others included, there hasn't been any real consistency on a day-to-day basis. Like, one day I'll be like 10 quid, the next day I'll be 150, and then the next day might be 20 quid or something. But, you know, there's no real consistency. Even though that's obviously pleasant, at the end of the month, I'm still totting up, and I'm still okay. I'm still doing okay, you know, so I can't really say that the entire year or each month of the year has been vastly inconsistent, but I do feel like the day-to-day is quite inconsistent. One day is amazing, next day is poor, or you might have a run of a few poor days and then you might have 1 or 2 amazing days and then it's poor again, and then it's average, and then it's poor, and then it's really good, and it just doesn't seem to be any like good consistency, you know? But as self-employed people, we can't really expect consistency on a day-to-day basis. Can we expect consistency on a quarter basis or 6 month or yearly? Of course we can when we look back, but on a day-to-day basis we can't expect consistency. So, you know, you've just got to look at it as a month like I'm doing, and on the month it's okay, and as long as it's okay on the month and on the quarter and on the year, you know, everything's fine. So yeah, that's well handled, ads. I don't even know what he was referring to because that was further up the chat. But anyway, Sib K, I will have a look at the audio levels and just see if I can't add anything, if you'd like me to add anything. I know it's fairly okay. I mean, I quite like this mic. It's fairly decent. It is flashing red at me every now and then, so maybe it's just I'm talking too loud. But no, I do like this mic. Yeah, to be honest, totals are so different. You could do 150k in 1 year and 50k the next. Nothing is guaranteed. Yeah, and I think also a big part of my revenue comes in Q4. So even if, let's say, 1 month I have a really poor month, right, and I'm thinking, oh my god, it's the end of the world, I can't see past this, that means that the end of year, you know, turnover and profit is going to really suffer. I'm feeling really terrible about it. But then I think to myself, well, hang on a minute, I've got a lot of stock ready and waiting to go into Amazon in Q4. So what does it matter that this month has been poor? Because in Q4, I've got saleable stock ready to sell that will be fast sellers, and once I get it up to the warehouse, it'll go. I know it'll go. So, and it'll go for premium prices. So then I think to myself, well, okay, I've had a bad month, but look, just look at the bigger picture, keep working. Look towards Q4. You know, things will be pretty alright in Q4. You know, I don't want to depend on Q4. That's not what I'm saying. But at the same time, I am very, very confident that the stuff I have will sell at Q4. So in one way, I feel it's kind of okay to be somewhat dependent on that. However, it doesn't mean I'm not working hard now and trying to at least get some good income throughout the rest of the year. Because obviously you want to make profit throughout the other rest of the year as well as Q4. But yeah, on the topic, I was in the post office earlier posting a heavy parcel force item. Lady said it would cost me £17 from her. It was £8.90 online. Funnily enough, that happened to me a few weeks ago. I ordered it online. I ordered a God knows how many kilo parcel online, probably 20 kilo or something. And yeah, basically they said it would be like 20 odd quid, and I had got it online with Parcels to Go. Is it Parcels to Go? I don't really use it that much, so sometimes I forget the name, but Parcels to Go, and I got it for like 8 quid, 9 quid, so it's crazy. Like, I mean, who I feel for is maybe all these, I don't want to be stereotypical, but maybe it is more older people, or maybe it's not, but either way, I feel for anyone, no matter, regardless of age, I feel for anyone who's going in there, getting quoted that 27 quid for a massive parcel, and then they're just paying it, whereas they can get it 20 quid off, or 10 quid off, on parcels to go. So I mean, I say it's older people, but I can't really say that because my granddad uses parcels to go to send his parcels because he does eBay like me. Well, not like me, he does it on a lower scale, but you know, he's active on eBay and stuff like that. And but mainly what he sells is like heavy tools and like bits of machinery and stuff like that. He's very much of the mindset of maybe making a little bit more profit on items. Like he'll buy bigger items and then he'll, like, you know, get like 2, 3, 4, 500 for them, and he'll do some on auction and he'll do some on buy it now. But that's besides the point anyway. But my granddad's 76 this year and he uses parcels to go for most of his parcels. He likes getting those discounts. He knows how to get those discounts. So I think it is unfair of me, and it is a bit stereotypical for me to just say, you know, it is maybe older people who are going to the post office and just paying the price that they quote, when clearly it just isn't. You know, it's all different ages. It just depends on whether you have that knowledge to do that. But yeah, so makes me feel bad as I'm back in there tomorrow with a heavy sewing machine, prepaid. I know it does, because I said to them, I paid like £8.90 or something online. Or, well, actually you said £8.90. It might not have been that for me, but I paid like £9 or £10 or something. And then they were saying, well, how have you paid that? Because it's coming up at like 26 quid. It makes me feel like they're kind of thinking that I'm not telling the truth or something. But, because they were like, how the hell did you get it for that kind of thing? But, yeah, it makes me feel a little bit on edge, like when I'm in there with a prepaid, that I've got a ridiculous amount off it, because kind of makes you think they're not going to accept it because they think you're lying about it or not telling the truth about it or something. Oh well, Tat, wouldn't worry, to be honest, about prepaying. You're still giving them something to do. Yeah, definitely. Do the post office get a certain percentage of that as well or something? I know that if I do click and drop. Is it click and drop? Yeah, it's click and drop. I always get drop and go and click and drop mixed up, but it's click and drop, and I drop them off, and I think they do get, like, towards the revenue of the post office, they get a certain amount of that sale or something. I'm not sure, but I swear someone told me that. But yeah, some post offices do actually look down on people who are, you know, prepaying things and then dropping them off. Yeah, because apparently I don't think we get the same kind of revenue from the sale or something. Do It Yourself Lifestyle says, question, Q4, do you think it's possible to make enough in November, December to live on for the rest of the year? I certainly do. I really, really do. If you, like, honestly, if you have, now, only if you have the money. And I've talked about this on my channel before. If I had 20k, right, if I had 20k, I would invest that in the Lego sale in, like, whenever that is, December, January or whatever, and all, like, throughout the year as well, I'd be investing that, or maybe most of it in December and January of that year, on the sales and stuff, and then maybe a bit throughout the rest of the year. I'd just plough it all into Lego, like, every penny, 20 grand of it, then flip it for, hopefully at Q4, maybe, I don't know, this is very rough figures, I've not got I wouldn't know whether this is completely achievable, but let's say 3 times the money, so like 60k, take out your fees, take out everything else, all that sort of stuff, you've got to be left with 20k, surely. You've got to be left with, like, well, like maybe just less than 20k, like 15k or something. So it is achievable, I really do think that, especially with Amazon FBA, but you're going to have a lot of startup. Like, if you want to do RA or OA and things like that, you've got to have a lot of startup. Now, for me personally, you might be saying, oh my god, you'd put it all in Lego, how risky is that? It is risky, but I'm a risky guy. I want to get that out there. I am risky in my investing. I'm risky in what I do. You know, so I suppose for me, it wouldn't feel that bad to put 20k, 10k, 20k in Lego, because I feel safe with Lego. I just feel like it's quite a safe investment anyway. So even if, like, in that Q4 I couldn't sell it, I could just wait another year, and the price would have gone up even more, because I know the kind of Lego sets that go up in value. You know, I'm not talking Lego Chima or Lego Ninjago. There's actually a few sets on the Lego Shop at Home website that are going to be good investments. I can tell you that. If you get them on a 30 or 40% discount right now, in 2 years' time, you're going to be sitting pretty on some of the stuff that is on the Lego Shop at Home website available for sale right now. So yeah, Lego is, I feel safe with Lego. I think it's a great investment, and that's why I would do it that way. However, you could do it with toys. You could probably do it with seasonal items like Christmas decorations or something like that, if you could, you know, get a source for that. So, you know, there's loads of ways to do it, but I think it would work best with RA or, you know, toys, games, that kind of thing. But yeah, just keep Amazon, eBay, Amazon ticking over. I just saw the message from a buyer on 4th of 5th, 2018, stating that they are so happy about the product. I appreciate that you always made the right thing for your buyers. Keep up the good work. Oh, I just saw the message from the buyer stating they're so happy about the product. I appreciate that you always make the right thing for your buyers. Keep. Oh, was that I nearly said special K. Was that the you mean my buyer? Has he changed the feedback? Is that what you're saying? I don't. Sorry, I don't understand. I'm a little bit confused on that. He said, oh, from the buyer. I'm assuming that's the buyer that left the neg then. Well, I'll have to go into my account if that's correct, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we're cool. So Jasmine said, so you're feeling much better now then? I am. I feel like, oh my god, after I had that food, I have, no joke, I have never had anything that bad. I have never, ever, ever had any illness like that. Like, well, okay, that's a lie. I have had illness. I mean, for God's sake, I've got cerebral palsy, I've had CFS, I've had anxiety disorder, I've had suspected Lyme disease. I've had a lot of stuff in the last sort of 22 years, but so it would be wrong for me to say that, but at the time, it really was bad. Like, to put me out of action, it takes a lot, and to put me out of action on that day, it took me to feel really, really, really lightheaded, very, very sick to the stomach, and then actually vomit 4 times. So it really does, and I was still going. I was in my blooming storage area packaging stuff, even when I was feeling really lightheaded after already being sick twice. I was like, I'm not letting this beat me. And then I ended up having to let it beat me for the good of myself in terms of getting some rest and feeling better in the long term. And I think that I made a good realisation on that day. I was constantly under the impression that, oh, I'll just keep going, I'll keep going, you know, before I had that. However, I had that and it made me think, hang on a minute, I need some contingency plans here, because I am not immortal. I am not this amazing young person, like young god, who nothing bad can happen to. I am actually a human. You know, I can get ill, I can get diseases and stuff. And it made me ground myself and think, actually, maybe I need to put a few more contingency plans in place for if I am ill in the future, or if I ever get long-term illness. So it did ground me a bit. It served its purpose. It made me feel like a bit of a new man in one sense. You know, like I felt more motivated when I had it to get back on with work. And yeah, it gave me what I needed at the time, I think. It's quite odd to say that, but I have quite a positive outlook on it now it's happened, because that illness gave me what I needed at the time, in the sense of a little bit of time to relax and time off, and it gave me a new understanding of the fact that actually it is okay to take time off, because I didn't list for 3 days. Nothing bad happened on my eBay store. I actually had really good sales those 3 days, so it made me realise, actually, you know, you can take a break every now and then. You don't have to drive yourself up the wall. You don't have to go here, there and everywhere and keep working. So it was actually what I needed in one sense. So yeah. Anyway, I won't ramble about that any longer. I will go in a second. I'll just quickly no ads, it's okay. Oh, no, oh, it isn't. So it isn't my buyer. Oh, damn, you got my hopes up. Anyway. What's the plans for the cabinet, storage unit, etc. this week and next? I am going to see the cabinet on the 21st, on Monday the 21st, and I'm not ringing up to see how much I've made. I want it to be a surprise, see if I've made anything in that new area. Obviously you saw the video, it's a really nice looking area. I really like the positioning of the cabinet, so I'm going to actually wait, and I'm gonna give it 3 weeks, because the 21st will be 3 weeks, and then I'm going to go down, fingers crossed, I don't know why I put my thumbs up then, but fingers crossed, I'll have maybe got like, I'm hoping for like 40, 50 quid. If I can do 40 or 50 quid, and I've still got a week left of the month, and then maybe in that last week I can do a little bit extra, it's at least something. I don't want to get my hopes too high. Even if I'm just above break even for this first month, then I'm happy with that, because it's better than my first month in the outdoor one. Because in my first month in the outdoor one, I didn't get a dicky bird, I didn't get one sale. So if I come into this one and maybe at least just break even for the first month, I'm happy. And then maybe if in the second month maybe I make a bit more money, then that's good, you know. So we'll see how it goes, but it's kind of more an experiment for me at this point. Like, with actually figuring out what sells in the cabinet, what sort of prices to price at in the cabinet opposed to on eBay. Kind of a bit more of an experiment, a bit kind of fun, as well as maybe making a little bit of money if I can do. But a lot of people you'll hear in the cabinets and in the booths don't make a lot of money. They don't make loads and loads of money. It depends on where you are in the country. I mean, there's some people who will make excellent money in booths and cabinets, but there's others that will generally just break even or just make a little bit of money, because it is quite hard, I find, in those booths and those cabinets, opposed to just straight on eBay. Oh, we've got Welsh Thrifter in the chat. Hi there, I've not seen you in the chat for a while. Maybe I've just missed you, missed your name in the chat. Anyway, would you open a full antique booth? I have been thinking about it. The waiting list is apparently 2 years long. I basically asked the woman when I was there last time, and yeah, she was saying you're not going to get it in anytime soon. The other antique cabinet, the other antique centre near me isn't very good. It's not got the footfall that this place has. It is actually, I think it might even be more expensive as well, the booth. And also the other ones in my surrounding area are like 45-minute to an hour drive, and they want me to work like 3 days a month. Now, I don't mind working in the, in the cabinets or whatever, in the centre, but I don't want to be driving 45 minutes to an hour, working there 3 days a month and filling my booth up and all that. I just don't want that hassle when I can do it maybe, or if I can do it closer by. But yeah, I've looked into it. I think that I'll probably put my name down at some point soon, just to get my name down, because if it is a 2-year waiting list, then, in 2 years I might want to do it, I might not. But if I don't have my name down, I won't even be able to say, oh, well, I don't want to do it. I won't even have that choice. So it might be best just getting my name down. I mean, it might end up coming a little bit shorter, like the list might go down to a year or something. But she said there is a lot of interest, and you will not get in there very soon. And she did actually use the phrase, 2 years. That is how long it's the waiting list is. So I was like, I was just going out of my mind when I heard 2 years. I thought, oh my God, 2 years? What are you talking about? I thought, bloody hell. Anyway, I'll leave it there, guys. I've gone way over the hour, so I've just gone over the hour. So I'll leave it there. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining me. I think, fingers crossed, the stream has been alright. So I think that we've actually cracked it. I think that basically the Ethernet cable has done it. So yeah, fingers crossed for next time anyway, that it continues in this fashion. I'll leave it there. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a like down below. Give it a comment. I'm trying to get my engagement up on these videos, because apparently that's... basically I was using this new tool. I forgot what it's called now. Oh, I forgot what it's called, but it's a YouTube analytics tool and stuff. And it said for me personally, if I want to grow my channel, I need to get my engagement rate up. Because I'm not getting many likes and stuff on my videos. So if you could like it, it would be really appreciate. I'd really appreciate it, because obviously it'll get the channel out there a little bit more. If you could leave a comment, then that'd be brilliant. Obviously, anything you want to see on the green screen, leave a comment about that or anything. And even any dislikes, they're okay, because they increase my engagement rate anyway. So yeah, I'll leave it there, guys. Thank you very much for all your support. And I'll be back very, very soon with another video. So, see you very soon, guys. Doodle-doodle-doodle-doo. Doodle-doodle-doodle-doodle-doo.